I'm going to get you some Blue Chew for your fucking birthday.
Get the one with ginseng added in.
Okay.
There. Yeah,
I'm going to get you the one that lasts longer than 4 hours. So you have to call the hospital.
And guess who's on call? Ian.
Oh, I'll drain it for you.
I'm sure.
Don't you worry. I would never live in a Pokemon world. Fuck that. I want to be mowing my lawn and get murdered by a fucking Beedrill. Fuck that
So
shit.
wait a second. So would you rather live in a Fallout world or a Pokemon world?
Probably a Fallout world.
I don't know much about Fallout, so I wouldn't.
It's dark.
Am I in a control vault? A control vault is a really nice place to be.
Yeah.
What's up, Eddie?
I mean, I sure as fuck ain't living in a Pokemon world where there's like shit in the water and my yard and
I bring that to you. So
another man was killed by a Growlithe today.
There you go. Another man was killed today.
Yes.
Walking into a water while playing Pokemon
Right.
Go.
Yeah. A fucking Gyarados killed another man today in Lake Worth Beach. Like, no.
Cameras adjusted?
Yeah, camera's good.
All right, let's do it. Welcome to the Sofa Kingdom podcast with your host, Nelson.
Jackie.
Hi.
Ed,
Ian.
Oh, Ian. How is everybody? How we doing?
We were all staring at Ian like,
It's okay.
He's
All right.
like, it's okay. You know what you need? Some Don Julio.
Listen, not gonna happen. Tequila and me, it's the exact same effect that a bug spray has on a roach. Like I do the whole fucking leggy kicking thing.
Right.
That ain't happening.
It's good for you though, man. It's good for the soul to have a leg kicky moment every
Is
now
it?
and again.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, I try to keep the leggy kicky moments to a minimum
Yeah.
in my life. Like I don't like to do that.
So go ahead.
I believe the good tequila is actually mezcal. That's the stuff that's worth sipping. The standard tequila, which is made from the really easy to get agave, is the drink it fast.
Yes.
Or mix it with something real sugary.
So Jackie,
Yeah.
are you old enough to drink?
Yeah, I am 26.
So out of curiosity,
Nice.
because I don't drink a lot. I really don't. I drink.
You brought a
like,
guest on and didn't know their age?
I know she's over 21, but I didn't know in 20s.
Why did you ask if you're old enough to drink?
No, because curiosity. Because like you guys drink regularly, I drink very seldom. You don't drink at all.
Nope.
Choice? Why? Just
I don't know if it was like just from young. I thought it was like, oh, if I take a sip, I'm gonna get arrested. And then I was like,
I knew there had to be something behind
The
it.
DARE program strikes again.
I
God
followed the
damn
rules
it.
so hard when I was young, and then I just because I wasn't used to. Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't used to like the taste that everyone was like growing up on. So
Yes.
when I first had my taste of it, I was like, this is shit. I'm
Yeah.
gonna drink this. So
So I will explain that the taste is always never the best,
Yeah.
but it's the effect
Yeah.
that
You-
most people are looking for.
You get
that-
to a point where you don't drink it because you want to. You drink it because you have to.
You have to look at it a little bit like coffee. Nobody really enjoys coffee the first time. It becomes an acquired taste.
I don't
Yeah.
drink coffee either.
And then
So is it a caffeine thing?
I don't know. But I think because I might have some tism, I don't want to see what that stuff does.
sprinkling of the tism?
All right, that's okay.
It's okay, this is a tism-friendly zone.
Yo, because I was straight edge. They
Yeah.
they know. Like I was straight edge until I was like 18.
Yeah, when I think
legitimately.
Nelson, I think straight edge.
No, nothing.
check the back of the hands. You got a cross on there somewhere?
Nothing. And then 18 hit, and I was just like, oh, this is fun.
Is that mostly because the army or?
Yes,
Okay.
actually, yeah. When I left to the service, they had this thing like smoke them if you got them, and if you didn't have them, you were still working. So I'm like, wait a second. So I started smoking Black and Miles just so that I can smoke because I got them. I'm taking a 20-minute break over here. And y'all motherfuckers are still working. We're like, yeah, we're killing ourselves. And then the army and the drinking and hanging out. Like I was 18 on my own for the first time, doing things like that. But I quickly dialed it back because just on a personal level, alcohol when I'm really drinking just doesn't agree with me. Like I can have like 2 or 3 drinks, like a sip here with some beer, 1 or 2 and some. After a while, it's just too much. It affects me in a negative way, not personality wise, but like body wise.
You start beating your friends?
That has happened. We used to have 2 friends in Pennsylvania that would drink and beat each other up. And at first, we would be at these parties and we'd be like, we got to stop them. And then after a while, it's just like stepping over them in the hallway while they're punching each other to death. And we're like, it's all right. They'll be fine.
At
in
a
the
certain
morning."
point, we've warned you enough.
Yeah.
You're a grown adult. Be responsible for yourself.
Yeah. And it was always Boone's Farms.
Well, drink real alcohol. Don't
We couldn't get real alcohol. We weren't supposed to be drinking. This is like high school.
Yeah, it's like
So it was Mad Dog 2020 and Boone's Farms.
MD 2020 was everybody's pass around in Pennsylvania.
You didn't really miss out, Jackie. You
Real
didn't
high quality stuff.
Do these sound like stories that you wish you would have taken part in?
No, but they're fun listening to.
Yeah.
At least they're that then. All right.
So we do all jujitsu, right? So this is a
4 out of 4 of us.
4 out of 4 of us. This is your new journey. How are you enjoying the jujitsu journey
So far?
So far, yes.
It's been really fun. I was kind of just dragged into it by my old boss. She was like, "Oh, I think you really like this." I'm like, because she kept egging me on, just like, "Do it." And I'm like, well, I finally had Friday off, so I was like, sure. And then I'm somehow here still after over a year of this.
Right? And you should be proud of yourself. Like, some people don't make that year mark. Like, some people make like 2 or 3 months, and then you've seen them, right? They come in, they start maybe even like one class, then they're like, "This isn't for me, I'm out of here." So like, to stick it through like for a year is a big accomplishment. I know that like I've had personally over the years, like, if I get like a major injury, I'm always like, "I'll never do this again." And then like 2 months later, I'm like slapping my gi on, and I'm like, "All right, I'll just wear a knee brace."
Kelly won't let you leave.
Yeah, she won't let me leave. Yeah, but people call me like, "Where you at, Nelson? Just come to one class." That's what I told Ian. I'm like, "I'm just gonna go visit Kelly's gym and just check it out." She invited me over there, and then I'm like ordering gis.
Add to cart.
Yeah. Add to cart. Captain America gi, of course.
I need 20 backups.
Yeah. So you're enjoying the experience so far?
Yeah, it's a good community because, I'm young. I'm still finding my career kind of stuff, and all my friends are doing our own thing. So I'm spending more time with you guys than I am with friends I've known since middle school, which is kind of
Goddamn right. Forget you guys from middle school.
We're cooler than middle schoolers.
That's right. We'll put you all to sleep.
Fuck yeah.
I think that happens to everybody. Everybody thinks like, oh, all the people I spent middle school and high school with, you might still know some, but I stay in contact with 3
Yeah.
that's about the number. Yeah,
that we're on a text chain with. Everybody else, fucking gone.
Yeah. It's like fat, dead, pregnant, fat, dead,
Double fat.
double
You're
fat,
pregnant. Dead.
ate someone fat and died while pregnant. Like, it's all right.
Yeah, at a certain point, there's a few people you see on Facebook. You're like, oh, that's what happened.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
I think people coming in and out of your lives for seasons, right? Even like at jobs, right? You're like, best friends at job. They quit like a day later. You're like, who the fuck was Gary?
Ironically, because my one job, they just closed down our location, so I was like, fuck it. I had my one friend, she hired me at where she's working at, and then I know 2 other people there. So it's like, I'm now going to be able to spend more time with them.
Yes.
But not like it is with you guys where it's like, that's work.
Yes.
This is more like a community of people who
Psychopaths that enjoy strangling each other. Yeah.
And isn't it funny that like you're beating each other up, and at the end of the class you're like clapping hands, good
Hugging.
hug. That was a good class. You know,
Dude, look at this bruise you gave me.
Yeah. You know you elbowed me in the eye, right? You did that. You did that.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
like,
essentially, by simulating murder on one another,
yes.
we make each other more difficult to murder.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's a good thing.
It is. It is a good thing.
And technically, I mean, the harder someone tries to simulate a murder on you, in a way, you could say the more they care because they're making you
They know
that
you
much
can
more
handle
difficult
it.
to be defeated.
That's right. That's
They
right.
care so much about you being able to defend yourself that they tried to kill you with all their might.
Goddamn
You
right.
will find eventually your most asshole moves you do to the people you like the most.
Oh,
is true.
yeah.
This is true.
Like, I
Yes.
like this person. I will do this mother
Yeah,
choke to them.
Yes. Hugo tried to wrist lock me on Friday.
Yes.
I must be doing something correct.
You know what's funny is that
I looked at him with like fear. I was like, "You just tried to break my wrist with all your effort." Okay, that's great.
With love.
Yes.
Yeah.
I rolled with Maddie one time, and she applied 2 wrist locks, but like she didn't do it fully, but she went for the wrist lock, and she looked at me. She's like, I'm like, I thought we were friends.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I'm not defending wrist locks. You're trying to kill my arms, but it's okay. It's all right. Just, let it go. Let it go.
Good times. Good times to be had by all.
Yes. So this year in cartoons and anime, we did have quite a bit of stuff that came out that was very good. And one of those that you guys reminded me of was the Blue-Eyed Samurai.
Yep.
Yes.
It's almost so good, but there's been a lot. It happened in the beginning of the year, so you kind of forget about it. But really thinking about it after you guys brought it up on the last podcast, like Blue-Eyed Samurai was a fantastic written, visual, storytelling, like voice acting, the whole nine. It was fantastic. Have you had the chance to see Blue-Eyed Samurai?
I have not, and usually when people tell me to watch something, I don't want to.
You're a contrarian.
Sure.
You're like, that's really good for you. You should eat that. You're like, yeah, I'll just take this crack.
No, because the thing is, when people hype things too much, it just takes away from, something I like.
If it doesn't live up to it, then it's like, oh, what a waste of time.
I can see that.
Have you seen Arcane at all?
That was another thing that got kind of pushed onto me. I was like, no. I think what happened was the first time it happened was either Attack on Titan or My Hero. I was forced to sit down and watch it, and so anything that was like, oh, this is really good, I have bad experience from people doing that. So I'm like, so when people are like heavily suggesting something, I'm like, no. But that's why with Dandadan, which was like you guys were talking about earlier, I just saw like on Instagram like a little trailer for it, and I don't know, an alien mentioned banana. I was like, that's funny.
Yeah,
right.
And no one had talked about it yet, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna check this out. And I'm glad I did get onto it early before a lot of spoilers and all that.
That is the one thing I will say. 2024 was really good for like anime.
Yeah.
Like you had like your My Hero, you had your Demon Slayer, you had the Rurouni Kenshin, you had the remake of it, you had Kaiju number 8. Like there was just so many Dandadan. There's so many big hits that came out this year with anime, and then there's a lot more to look forward to in 2025. So I don't know.
And with so much of it coming to Netflix as well, because a lot of these studios out of Japan, they're very small. It's very labor intensive, and a lot of them are barely staying open. So getting it more broadened to the American audience, just being on Netflix, hopefully allows them to stay open. I mean, there's only so many studios, and they're literally limited by how many products they could do a year. They can only do so many because there's only so many people. It takes so long to do. So there's backups almost in the industry to a point of like, we would do this anime in as well and transfer it up, but we just don't have people.
We don't have the manpower for it.
Right.
So if the industry itself can start doing better, because even the people that write the mangas, it's almost when you look into the background of it, it's like a labor of love. They almost make like no money. A lot of them are done by one, if not maybe 3 people. But if they're popular, they got like 2 people helping, and the one guy's doing all the writing, and then there's like a primary artist and like a secondary, and that's it. And it's like they're almost like living together because that's what you got to do to be able to do it.
It's almost like the UFC, right? You have your Conor McGregors, you have your Nate Diaz's, you have your George St. Pierre's. They're making all the money, right? And so you got like your One Piece, you got your Dragon Ball Z, you got your Pokemon. They're making all the money, and then you got all these other great studios.
Even the big guys are not really making money.
Yeah,
it's amazing how little it gets, because a lot of it was
they
only
get paid
going.
Dirt. Like you have to be an anime.
You gotta realize
love it.
a lot of it was only going out to Japan. So imagine you're making a comic, but it's only to that small section. So if you don't get translated into another language, you gotta hope that people do it for free. But if they do it for free, then those people that are getting it for free. So you're still not getting paid. Damn. And for decades, Americans were getting
Bootlegs.
anime and manga
Bootlegs.
translated for free because that's the only way you were able to get it. It wasn't until like Shoujin Jump started coming in English, and now you're getting the dual stream where it's coming out in Japan and then like the next day or same day in English as well.
Sure.
So you can actually participate while it's coming out, and then the artists are actually starting to get paid for all of these eyes around the world that were essentially not contributing to the industry at all.
But but now you got places like Crunchyroll and Netflix, right? Crunchyroll was really the first one that you could go and find a lot of anime. Netflix had some floating around, Amazon and stuff like that. You can always find them on like.
But now it's on everything.
streaming
Disney
services.
Plus, Hulu, like everything has some kind
How
of
do you
anime
guys feel
section.
about that though? That I know back then anime you had to go onto like some pirated sites to see things, and now it's like everywhere. It's like I don't know if it's because anime's become more popular that it's losing a bit of its
Luster?
I remember being an anime fan back when it was weird as fuck to be an
Yeah.
anime fan.
Yeah,
I remember that.
It was very niche. It was
Yeah.
very
They're
niche.
like, you watch Japanese cartoons,
Yeah.
and then I would strike them.
Yes, yes.
I
with
was-
your Japanese attacks.
Right. This is a Japanese kick.
That's right.
I first started watching anime in New York. My friend Jawi, he would get VHS from his family in China, and they would send it to him, and he would have to translate what was going on at his house.
Yeah.
So this is 30 years ago.
Yes.
Uh,
So you're watching anime.
I was watching
on a VHS.
DBZ.
Yes.
It was stolen by China because that's how they do their.
So you had a Chinese VHS
Yes.
DBZ, watching it with a Chinese kid.
Yep.
Who's translating the Chinese to English for you.
Yes,
Correct. In real time.
that's
Yes.
when I started
That's
watching
bootleg.
I
anime.
remember. That's
That's
really
bootleg.
really bootleg.
That's like pirate ship bootleg. That's
That
fucking-
is a long time ago,
Yeah.
and now at some point in time you turn on Cartoon Network,
Mm-hmm.
and there is a watered down version of DBZ.
Yes.
You know, they're not saying what they're really saying.
Same thing
but they're
with
saying
Yu-Gi-Oh.
enough. Same thing with Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh was dark as fuck.
Same thing with Naruto.
yeah,
where they
evil spirit
they
trapped
changed
inside
it.
a little boy. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and
Yep.
when you get the Americanized version of it, it's a completely different version
It's
of
only
the cartoon.
it's only in the last like 3 or 4 years where they really started not just translating, but translating it more accurately.
Mm-hmm.
Finding people that speak both languages, so when they're translating it, because there's certain idioms that don't quite translate to English.
Sure.
And if you don't speak both languages proficiently, you can translate the words, but the words translated don't mean what it means in Japanese.
Right.
So it's only more these last couple of years where they're translating it properly and they're really leaving it as what it is versus changing. There's some anime that are beloved because of how badly translated they are. Where they're like, they completely went off script and went,
just
fuck
butchered it.
And they added their own words and they just completely backwards. But that's what it was at first when it started coming into America, because that's all you got. You had poor translations. They were like, this makes no sense. Just say whatever.
So essentially, it's like the people that are doing sign language, but they don't really know sign
Absolutely.
language.
I forget
And
the
they're
name
just
of the
like-
anime, but it
Wasn't
is
it like
it
Ghost
is-
Stories?
Yes.
I believe so. Yeah.
But they had like free range because like we're not gonna do anything with it. Go full
Yes.
hog and they.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's several that are like that where it's like has nothing to do with where they almost like insult comic at each other as they're like, we got 3 more seconds of his lips moving. We got to add something, and they completely change the entire narrative by the time they're
fucking
done.
great.
So I guessed, to answer your question, I think it's a good thing. Like I think that the anime industry getting more attention is good because, you know, maybe the projects will get more money and we'll see more of it. I think it was a big turning point for me, like especially recently, maybe in the last 3-4 years, just going back to a commercial gym. Almost every gym has multiple people walking
Yep.
around with some kind of anime shirt.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
amazing how many people are lifting weights, and not just like a skinny kid with a Hot Topic shirt on, like
Yeah.
a big jacked motherfucker
Yep.
in
Yeah.
like a Jujutsu Kaisen shirt. I'm like, oh shit, like all right, like
Right.
get
Yeah.
your shit, man. All right, I respect that. You know? Like, and it's amazing how you'll be talking about the show at work or something. Like I'll be talking about like the techs and stuff, and like guys my age, and I'll be like in our mid to late 30s, and we're like, yeah, have you seen the new episode of Demon Slayer? Blah blah. And then like a nurse overhearing us over here on the computer be like, yeah, my husband's into that, and she's like in her late 30s. I'm like, holy fuck, like all right, this isn't such a
What do you
niche
mean?
thing.
What do you mean mid to late 30s, bro? You're like 50, right? Aren't you like
I just turned 38, asshole.
50?
But, you know, it's-
52. We were there. You turned 52.
I turned 38. Yeah, I remember you popped out of my fucking kitchen. Everything, so, yeah.
Is this where I get to make fun of your age again?
Yeah, they do. They like to do that. But,
It can't be just me. You know what I mean? Like, I can't just be the only old guy in the room.
I mean, you are the oldest guy in the room.
I am the oldest guy. And as a matter of fact, turning 43
Oof.
January
of days.
2nd.
Couple of days.
January 2nd.
Nice.
I'm climbing these charts.
I'm gonna get you some Blue Chew for your fucking birthday.
Get the one with ginseng added in.
Okay.
there. Yeah,
I'm gonna
thank
get you the one that lasts
Appreciate
longer than 4 hours.
it.
So you have to call
So
the
I have to
hospital.
call the hospital. And guess who's on call? Ian.
Oh, I'll drain it for you.
I'm sure.
Don't you worry.
I'm sure.
Don't you fucking worry.
We're so sorry, Jackie. It goes off the rails so fast. So fast.
It's made me think of like, because there's a lot of times where I find myself in situations where I have like a lot of older friends or just relate a bit more.
Yes.
I think that just comes from, so I'm adopted.
Right.
My parents were in their early 40s when that happened, and all my other family were like grown up. So I have cousins who are like in their 50s, already have kids whose kids are older than me.
Right.
And being an only child, I think I kind of had to grow up a little faster to be around an older group, which is why I don't feel uncomfortable in any situation.
Yeah, when you're
Nice.
the youngest,
That's what's up.
when you're the youngest one in the family, everybody's already older.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to play catch up to actually be involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And, good, because most of the gym, like in the jiu-jitsu community, is all over the place age-wise.
Yeah.
Like you have like 17 to like 60, like, in the gym training at the same times. And that's another cool thing about jiu-jitsu. It's that like different economic backgrounds, different, you're at different parts of your life, age-wise, and different communities and stuff like that. And you get to blend and mesh with a lot of people.
But the mat is the great equalizer.
It is.
It means nothing.
I mean, because like me and Steve were both our white belt 4 stripes. How old is Steve? Like in his 40s or?
Yeah. He's definitely.
He doesn't
in his
look
40s.
a day over 55.
Yeah, he looks like Gimli, right? Isn't that-
You're an asshole. I didn't say that, Steve. I didn't say that. Straight up called his ass a
from
dwarf.
the Lord of the
a
Rings.
Dwarf
He
of
does.
Moria.
Come on, he looks like him. Don't be mad. Don't be mad, Steve.
I'm sorry, Steve. I didn't say it.
That's gonna be the cover for the podcast episode. It'll be
Steve is Gimli?
Gimli.
The one comment.
As far as video games, just switching subjects completely.
Wow.
Here. As far as video games this year, I know we've discussed it. I really haven't had any real interaction outside of Mortal Kombat on my console and Last War on my phone.
Yep.
Like, I feel like the game industry is kind of like very lackluster, very just stagnant.
I mean,
a lot
I
of the same
had got a
shit.
Steam
I don't know.
Deck.
That's just me.
I got a Steam Deck a little over a year ago, but I used it to play older games. Like I
Right.
got a bunch of the PlayStation exclusives because they were on sale like $15 a piece. So I got Spider-Man, and I got God of War,
Yeah.
but then I picked up like New Vegas because I never completed that. Even the games I played this year, other than Jedi Survivor, which I'm in the middle of now, fantastic game. See how they land the plane with that. But most of the games I played were all older games.
Yeah.
Yeah. My first PlayStation 5 game, like when I bought my PlayStation 5, the first game I played on it was I downloaded a remaster of a PlayStation 1 game. So that's like PlayStation just had its 30th anniversary, and they gave you like the ability to have a theme on your PlayStation where it
Yes.
starts with whatever generation you want. And
Right.
my PlayStation is hooked up to the
PlayStation 1. Hell
It
yeah,
starts
man.
like the PlayStation 1, and like
It gives you the
sign-
theme music and the
everything,
sounds.
yes.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Right now, I mean, I thought 2024 was pretty good for video games because I played JRPGs. So I played like Visions of Mana, Unicorn
Right.
Overlord. My game of the year is Metaphor ReFantazio.
Right.
It was unbelievable. It's the same company that makes Shin Megami Tensei and Persona, which is basically half killing demons, half High School
It
Simulator.
almost feels
High
like
School Simulator.
which I still feel weird about, but at least Metaphor was its own flushed out fantasy
Yeah.
world. And I think it's going to go. I think they're going to be talking about it years from now. It
I
was
think-
a 10.
I
want to
say maybe
Really?
like
Yeah.
PlayStation 2 era was when this many JRPGs were coming out.
Yeah, and 2025 is looking just as good.
And-
if you're an RPG guy,
Right.
And
So
just about as many are on the Xbox as well, which is something they were really pushing to do, was get Japanese games on their console because they're like it's a huge market, that area of the world, and if they don't have those games, they're never gonna buy the console.
Yeah. Right.
Because that's what they want to play.
yeah. Right now, after I beat Metaphor, there was like a void because I put so much time and so much energy into that game, like 100 hours. Now I'm playing 2 different older games. Ironically, the remake of Dragon Quest 3, which is like a regular Nintendo game that was
Right,
remade
right.
now for the PlayStation.
Does it have like the fat little widgets like?
the world in the back, the
sword
world,
up like Legend
the
of
world,
Zelda.
the world in the background is like really beautiful now, and they redid it. But
Yeah.
like, it's still the characters walking in a line, and like the fights are like you're looking at the enemies in a line like
Yeah.
this, and it says like this dude attacked, and like you see the like it's
Right.
it takes you back.
Is it like a Contra where like you can
No.
only jump up and down and go
Not
straight?
no, not nearly that much action. Not even nearly that much action. No. And the other game I'm playing is on the Switch. It's the remake of Star Ocean 2: The Second Story.
I love Star Ocean.
Then you need to get.
One of my favorite games of all time.
Then you need to play the remake of Star Ocean: The Second Story R.
Do you remember how many discs came with Star Ocean?
Yeah, that was like a 3 or 4 disc game, wasn't it?
Yeah, now
Yes.
now it's just a little thing you stick in your Switch, and there it is, man. I mean,
By
it's,
disc, what do you mean by that?
games used to be so
right.
big that they would be on like 3 or 4 CDs.
Yes.
Oh,
like,
like part 1, part 2, part
You would
3.
get you would get
Yes.
so far in the game, they would tell you to save, and then a screen would pop
Yeah,
up that says "Insert this
Insert
to."
disc.
Yeah.
two, yeah.
Ah.
Like
You would have to
little-
take out disc 1, stick disc 2 in, load your data, and then the game starts.
Yeah, you get like a little floppy disk, right?
Uh-huh.
Boop, boop, and you stick it into your hard drive there.
Memory cards used to be a thing.
Yes.
You would
Yeah,
save
had to
your
have
game on a memory card,
Yes.
take it out, and you could take it anywhere with you
'cause
and play
couldn't-
on your friends'
You
game.
couldn't save to a CD.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you couldn't save to the console.
So everything was on this memory card, and if you wanted to, you could get on your little brother's memory card and delete his data because they didn't have passwords.
That's a dick move.
Sorry, Shay, wherever you're
The
at.
only other worse move than that to little brothers everywhere was passing them a remote control but not plugging it in. Yeah, you're playing.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
Now, you still play Pokemon Go, which to me, I'm like, damn, that game is still going. I
So-
thought it kind of died out in the community, but it actually has
There's still- no,
a
there's
very
still people
large
playing it.
community.
Yeah, so originally when you had the game on, when it first came out, it would eat your battery like a motherfucker. And
Oh, yeah.
you had to keep it on to have certain things happen, and they changed that to where you can have your phone off, and it still tracks your walking when you want to hatch eggs and things.
Nice.
But I only got it because Sarita from our gym,
Yeah.
I saw her playing it. I was like, oh, that's still a thing. I was like, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
So I've only really played Nintendo games growing up, mostly Pokemon. But
What generation of Pokemon did you start on? What was your first Pokemon game?
so technically, my first Pokemon game was Pokemon Leaf Green, but
right,
I didn't have a full understanding of like when I got it as a kid, I was like, oh, my first Pokemon just needs to be really strong, and it can be everything else. I didn't understand type matchups or anything like that.
So you just picked that Bulbasaur and just dumped everything into
I
it.
did choose Bulbasaur, but I did.
Yes,
He's an aficionado.
You seemed like a Bulbasaur.
No, okay, but I didn't have a full understanding of the game until Pokemon Diamond and Pearl came out, and that's when I was like, okay, I'm starting to understand how this works. And then I went back and played Fire Red, and I actually beat the game.
Fire and
with,
Water, right?
The original
and
version was
red.
red and blue.
Yeah, Red and Blue,
Yes.
the original.
But then they
And
remade
yellow.
different versions.
Yes.
But Leaf Green and Fire Red were the remakes of those two.
Yes.
But
What-
I went back and finished Fire Red with Squirtle.
Wasn't
actually.
those
Yeah.
big on the handheld consoles, right?
Yes,
the Game Boys.
Pokemon used to be exclusive. Well, it's still kind of now it's on the Switch.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I recently played Pokemon. I beat both Scarlet and Violet on the Switch.
Which had
Yes.
shit graphics, man. It,
Yeah, they tried to do this open world thing, and I appreciated what they did, but it did lose some of the magic.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happened to me with Dragon Ball Z's franchise on the video game consoles. Like, I'm playing a fighting game for a fighting game.
Right.
I
You don't wanna fly
need
around
the
as
open
Goku,
world.
yeah.
I don't need the open world bullshit. Like Mortal Kombat, stick to the script, get the characters. There's a storyline.
Mortal Kombat went open world for a while.
I hated it,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't play it. Dragon Ball Z, the first ones were great. Everybody was playing it, and then it became this open world nonsense. I was like, I'm done. The same thing with I think Sword Art Online was another one. No, what was the other?
No, Sword Art Online was always a big.
There was another fighting game. It might have-
Well, Zelda recently got criticized because it went from games like Wind Waker, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. Next thing you know, you got this open world one. Was it Breath of the Wild?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's no one like. Well, it just came out. It's like Tears of the something.
Tears of the Kingdom, I
Tears
Yes.
of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not even like it's just so open world. It's not even a Zelda game.
it's not the same thing anymore. Yeah.
My favorite Zelda game is A Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo. I just dated myself.
Which
But
they got.
yeah, yeah.
They got the remake of.
yeah,
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's my game. That's
Yeah,
my
the,
pick.
the remake looks nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember that one. The only ones I remember playing is Ocarina of Time, Spirit Tracks.
Yeah, Ocarina of Time is. I think mostly regarded by most Zelda fans as the best game in the franchise. It's like the pinnacle.
Yeah.
I've gone back to play Rainbow Six Vegas. That's what I've been playing because I love terrorist hunts. You just start in a building or a house and you run through. You got to find all the terrorists and kill them. Little fun fact: the terrorists used to be Arab in descent.
Yes. As most of them
are. But they yelled at you in Mexican Spanish.
Why?
I have no fucking idea. Somebody must have thought it was funny to do that. And for years, that was the case. So I re-downloaded it and like, I'm kind of mad. They took out the Mexican yelling. And I'm like, wait a second. They all sound like Americans yelling, fighting against other Americans, like now, like terrorist hunting and stuff. But I'm like, I don't know. I'm a little nostalgic. Bring back my Mexicanos.
You miss your Arabic Mexican terrorists.
I do, man.
Camille Nanjiani has a joke about that. We were talking about the terrorists that they're fighting are in Pakistan, but they got Muslim up there instead of Hindi, and it's supposed to be Urdu, but they're saying this is like they couldn't take. They got the detail in the hair and the grass, but they couldn't spend 30 seconds checking what language should be on the signs that they should be speaking. Like, what the fuck?
That's so like, it's all the same.
How well coiffed is his hair? But the signs in the wrong language.
I think the one of the beautiful things, especially about like the Pokemon franchise, is you can go like it's tried and true for the most part. I mean, I know the open world stuff with Scarlet and stuff, but for the most part, the formula has stayed the same. It works, and it has worked for 20 years. Like you can go back and as bad as the graphics are, you can go back and play Pokemon Red or Blue or Yellow, and it's still enjoyable. Like it still stood the test of time. Not everything can be said about certain games. Like I know everyone used to worship GoldenEye. They worship it. You ever go back and try to play it?
Oh boy,
it's so hard.
It's fucking horrible.
So back then, you used to have
I can't even play it. I'm not coordinated enough as a human being to play it.
One stick was to walk, and the other stick was to look. So you could essentially be just turning in circles for 30 minutes. So that
like
Nintendo
Minecraft?
64
I think that's Minecraft. Like the Xbox is like turn and look. And
Yes.
Now the original GoldenEye only had one stick, which means to turn around you had to run forward at the same time. You couldn't just turn around. So if you were getting shot in the back, you had to run forward and turn. And a big, you're getting shot. You're running like I'm getting shot. I'm getting shot. Like, I'm dead.
I tried to replay it.
Yes.
And I made it like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's rough.
I was trying to hit someone with an AK-47. And I'm just trying to look at it from the point of view of the AI soldier I was trying to shoot.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm ripping up everything around me. I'm not fucking hitting anything. I mean, I'm trying to fucking move with one, and I'm like, and like I'm just trying like if James Bond came at you drunk as fuck, and he's just like fucking shooting everything around you. The soldier's probably like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is wrong with James? What the hell's wrong with him?
Okay.
Like,
I made the mistake of sitting at the TV here because I re-downloaded it, right? And they fixed the whole walking mechanism.
Yep.
And I was like, let's do throwing knives.
Oh, yeah.
Because for some reason, I remember throwing knives being funner than what it was.
No.
It took like 40 minutes to get one kill.
Yeah.
Literally, to kill someone, they better be standing right here. And you're just like,
You had to reload to have enough knives to kill somebody.
Yes.
You're like, this isn't working.
This is bullshit. Like, if I throw a knife at you, go down, bro. Go down.
I mean, GoldenEye just came along at the right time where like our shooters were like Turok, Doom.
Yeah.
And so GoldenEye stood out. Everybody's
did.
like, oh my God, GoldenEye's amazing. Hindsight, it's really not.
No, it wasn't. And you know what?
It's really not.
The theme song was pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean,
you
they
can't
hyped
go
you
wrong.
up.
You can't go wrong with James Bond. You can't.
Yeah, it hyped
You
you
know?
up. So, yeah. I mean, there are some games like that I've gone back to and played. Like I said, Contra, one of them. That was like a classic, fantastic
Always gonna be hard.
fucking game.
Always gonna be a hard game.
Contra was great. You remember Altered Beast? Have you ever played Altered Beast?
Yep.
Yeah.
Altered Beast was another good one. Bonk's Great Adventure. That was for the
64?
No,
Super Nintendo?
the
No.
Geo Storm.
Super Nintendo was my
Neo Geo.
Like I would even say my favorite
Bonks?
console.
The Neo Geo Bonks. Well, I believe so. There was a couple of consoles that came out when we were playing the Nintendos, the Sega Genesises. In
Super
between.
Mario World has stood the test of time. You know,
Yeah,
simple
Super
and
Mario.
clean. Just go jump on Yoshi. Get
That's
the
what got
fucking
us into
feather.
gaming was the Nintendo and Super Mario, because we had the Atari,
But we didn't have anything good.
Yeah, we didn't. I mean, was there anything really good to play on the Atari?
I lost my virginity because of an Atari.
Congratulations.
Great. With the Atari?
Not with you.
Oh, okay.
An Atari was supposed to be involved.
Was there an exchange of goods and the Atari was...
There was supposed to be, but there was no Atari. She lied to me.
She tricked you?
She tricked me.
Come for the Atari, stay for the
right.
lady.
No, I didn't want the lady. I wanted the Atari. I was lied to.
Of all the consoles you guys have played, what is your favorite? Not necessarily the best, but what was the console you enjoyed the most? For me, it was the Xbox 360.
Most magical time of my life, probably the Super Nintendo. Best RPGs of all time, like best generation, PlayStation 1. But
Yeah.
if I had to pick like to go back to one time and play one console, it'd be Super Nintendo.
Yeah, no,
I was a kid and
the
I loved
Xbox 360 to me was the height of online gaming.
Yeah.
Everybody had microphones, everybody talked shit, everybody was having fun. Gears of War was popping, Halo was popping, Call of Duty was popping. Like there were so many really good games.
But it was
at
also
that time.
it was also a point in time where we had jobs, we had disposable income, and we had a lot of free time.
I was probably in elementary school.
So you had free time. What was your favorite console?
Either the DS Lite or DSi.
Nice. Okay.
it. Okay.
Yeah,
Portable
I like
fan.
that.
I like that.
Yeah.
I miss the days where you didn't have online gaming. I miss the days where like you'd have to like if you talk shit, you had to go to the arcade and settle it.
Oh my god.
I remember those days.
Okay, so I actually got into a fist fight over this.
I believe you did.
Yeah, because I was talking a lot of shit.
You? No.
Yeah, and we would play Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter for push-ups. So if you lost, 15 push-ups. And depending on how long we were there was a lot of push-ups involved.
Right.
And I didn't want to do push-ups.
No. Someone who wants to do video game wants to do push-ups.
And I didn't want to do push-ups. I was like, you know what? I'd rather fight you. That's what I do.
Oh, there you go.
It's kind of fair.
I remember I beat an entire troop of Boy Scouts one time in Street Fighter 2.
Oh, I thought you meant like actually just beat up a bunch
No,
of
to actually be honest, I was so young. I was like 10, 11. Like they were older than me.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I remember I watched this kid was beating people on Street Fighter 2, and I had Super Street Fighter 2 on the console.
Right.
Like, it wasn't the same, but I knew the combinations, I knew the moves and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was really good at Super Street Fighter 2.
Yes.
And I remember just watching this Boy Scout kid like beating kids and talking shit, and all the other Boy Scout kids laughing, and I was like, this kid's kind of ass. I can beat this fucking kid. And so I walked up in like my stupid ass puffy jacket and everything, and I was like, "Can I play you?" And he goes, "It's your quarter, kid." Like, hey. and I remember just going, "Okay," and like I put in my quarter and I picked Sagat, and I just like stood there, and then like he picked like Ryu or something generic and fucking stupid.
Tiger
And I
style.
was like, "Gee, I wonder how many Hadokens you're gonna throw."
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
like I started to play, and I just out of the corner of my eye, I could just see like his posture changing and like his face changing, and then I heard like silence from the fucking little pussies wearing scarves behind me, and I was like, "Oh, what's wrong? Like, I'm just hitting you with a tiger knee over and over again. What the fuck is wrong?" And I think he knew right away. He was like, "Oh fuck!" Like I, and then
I'm
I
getting
beat
worked.
him, and I beat his other homie and his other homie, and I was like, "All right, like is there Scoutmaster anywhere? Like is he like the secret boss here? Like is he the boss of this gym?"
I
Like,
beat all,
you know?
I beat all the henchmen. Where is the mini
Yes.
boss?
Yeah. It eventually got to the point where like my dad was like, "All right, Ian, we're leaving." My dad was maybe nervous. He had to fight all the scouts. So he was like, "All right, we gotta get out of here."
I miss those days. Like it's kind of like what we get in Jiu Jitsu. Like not to bring it back to that, but like it's competition in the room. Everybody's having fun and doing it. Like we used to sit on the couch to play GoldenEye. I think that's what made it fun, really.
Yeah.
Like when you had four friends sitting on a couch talking shit, playing the game. That's what made it more fun than actually playing the game.
But
Yeah.
good luck finding
So-
a proper 4-player, one-screen co-op game nowadays.
You can't.
You're lucky if they'll let you do 2-player couch
Yeah.
co-op.
Yeah.
Most of them, that's it. You got one player. If you're gonna have co-op, they need their own screen. They need their own system. It's not gonna be in the same house.
But one thing that has changed too is the size of our TVs.
Yeah.
Like we used to have, like it was the TV where I had to be like, all right, I'm right here. Here's the TV. Let's play.
Yeah,
And then
especially when it's
slowly
4
was getting
players
bigger
and you got a screen
better, and-
this big because you got 4 people trying to play. I gotta be up close. I can't see what's
God
happening.
forbid you blink. You're like, all right, where am I? Okay. Left corner, left bottom corner. All right.
So actually earlier what you were saying about like going against the other people and about the multiplayer, I love Mario Kart. It's one of my favorites, and my friend taught me how to play it when I first met them in first year of high school, and it was kind of like the student becoming the master because they're like, I'm doing laps around them, and like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
And I was at my cousin's baby shower or something, and all her office friends are there, and they brought out like one of the original Mario Karts where there's no like boosts or anything like that. It's just driving.
Super Nintendo, yeah.
Yeah, and they had it all on their Switch, and so I'm like going against them. They claimed they were drunk. And I'm doing laps around these guys, and I'm like, so I am down for any competition when it comes to Mario Kart. I am.
Listen, I thought I was good at Mario Kart. The Mario Kart 8.
No, there's good people out there.
Well,
but-
I thought I was good. I played Mario Kart for Super Nintendo. I played it for 64. I played it on the Switch. I have the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I'm okay. Like I can do fine on like 150, 300 cc. I can finish in the top 3. I'm like, all right, I'm good.
Yeah.
My buddy Ronley came over before a party. We were all going out to this party, and he comes over to the house, and he's this gigantic fucking black dude, like deadlifts like 600 plus pounds.
Yeah.
And he, might have a sprinkling of the tism. Real nice guy, but he's like, love the guy to death. But he's like, oh, you have Mario Kart? And I was like, yeah. I was like, why? I was like, you want to play a little bit while Sierra's getting ready? And he looks at me, and he like his mannerisms changed. Like he looked at me, he's like, I'll beat that ass. And I was like, and like to have a 240-pound jacked black dude just suddenly change in your house, like he's like, I'll beat that ass. And I was like, oh, okay, man. Like I was like let's play. Like what the fuck?
We're still friends, right?
Yeah. So like I picked a regular controller, and he like sets his shit up. Like he sets up like with like a half controller in this hand and a half controller in this hand. So he's playing like this, and I'm like, all right, fuck it, like, whatever you want to do. And like I go down there and I pick. I was like, who you want to pick before I can get out of his mouth? He's like, Shy Guy. I'm like, all right, man. So I pick Link. I pick fucking Link.
I actually drive Link.
Yeah, so I pick Link. I get on the fucking master bike, like with the master sword. I have the whole Link setup,
Right,
I unlocked it so I could get it.
Hell yeah.
He picks like all black Shy Guy, black on black car. I'm like, all right, you fucking weirdo. Like, beat the ever loving fuck out of me.
Yeah.
We put it on 150 cc. We start to race. No one's even close to him.
Yeah,
This dude's timing fucking power-ups to stop the blue shell from hitting him. Like, he's hitting the blue shell with a green shell. I'm like, what the fuck are you?
So far, the only item I can use to go against a blue shell is the boombox that you get. That's the only way I found.
That's
how
all.
to
Yeah,
defeat
that's
them.
the normal way of doing it.
I still have to figure out.
This dude's sniping the shell. Like, he's timing it on other people.
Or
Like,
you hit yourself before the blue shell.
all my best times now on my fucking screen
Are
are
his.
Ron Lee's times. He's the best Mario Kart player I've ever seen. I like, and then like it was just so demeaning because like you still want to keep playing, and like after we were done, like we're driving to the party. It's 25 minutes since we've played the game. We're driving like through Royal Palm, and all of a sudden he like says from the back seat, like Sierra's in the front seat, he's behind me. He goes, "Told you I beat that ass." I'm like, can you shut the fuck up back there? Like, God damn it! Like, there's nothing I could do. Like, he was so good. I was like, God damn, dude.
But I
Like,
want to meet people like that because I don't go on my way really to go on YouTube and it's like, oh, what's the best way to do all this stuff? It's like I want to see that in person. And it's like then learn from it because then I can only get as best as I think I can because I'm always against the computers. I've gotten 3 stars on all the 200 cc's mirror, except for the new rounds or courses that they added.
Yes.
I'm still working on that, but I like seeing more tricks that I can add on to it.
From what he says, at one point in time, he took it very seriously. Like he figured out what characters with certain cart types had optimal boosts and like what works for levels, and like he took it way too seriously.
Yeah.
And like I never even got close to him.
Right.
It wasn't like oh, I might have had a chance. I never fucking got close to him. Like he could have made, not that he made any, he could have made multiple errors, and I don't even think I passed him once. Like he spent the entire race ahead of me, and like second place was not close to him.
Was there any game that you guys have ever played that was like you were fucking ungodly in?
I was top 500 in the country I was top 500 in the country at Street Fighter 4 when it came out, like the month it came out. I was playing online a lot. I did really well with Sagat.
Yeah.
And I thought I was good. I was top 500. I ran into a guy, I won't forget his name because he's actually a really good player, and he was on his way up,
Right.
and he passed me, and then probably stayed in the top 10 forever. PR Balrog from Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And I played him. He played, ironically, Balrog.
Right.
Juggled me.
Just a bastard.
Juggled me. Hit me into the air.
And never let you
My
down.
feet never touched.
Yep.
He would launch me into the air once I would make a mistake, and then I would just sit the controller down
Yeah.
as he juggled my course. I was like, all right, I thought I was fucking good at Street Fighter 4. I am not. That guy is good at Street Fighter 4.
Yes.
And then after that, my rank kind of dropped because homie wasn't playing no more.
was like, I'm done.
I was like, I could fucking quit my job and everything else I do and play nothing but Street Fighter and still lose to that motherfucker. I was like, wow, that was a spanking, a hardcore spanking.
For me, it was Gears of War 1. There was one point for like a week, I was top 10,000 in the world playing Gears of War 1, but I had to fight for that spot. Like, I would go to work like a human being and come back and be like, fuck, I'm 11,000. You know what I mean? Play all night. 9,909. All right, cool. I can go to sleep. Wake up in the morning like, fuck, I'm 10,500. You know what I mean? Like, it was too much stress to stay there. But that was the game where I felt like I was just a G. You could put me in any room with any people. Even if I was the last out of the 4, I wasn't sweating it. Chances are I can kill them all. Like, it just had a great time when I wasn't being a dick.
Yeah.
Because there's this chainsaw and the shotgun. If you take out the chainsaw, the shotgun, you could just kind of like hide in around corners. And when they're coming, we call it like a 2-piece and a biscuit. Like, you hit them with the elbow, shoot them in the face, dead, right? Yeah. And then you'd hide against the wall. And then when you get into the lobby, you're like, fucking camper. Fucking, if I catch you, you're not going to catch me, though. That is the whole point.
I feel like you have to sacrifice too much of yourself, though, to be like a pro gamer.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you have to do.
That's a career, I think.
Yeah, I remember this girl, that, like way up in York, Pennsylvania, years ago in my early 20s. I was banging this girl, ironically, and she bragged that her older brother, was like, he's like top 100 in the world in Halo, and like she's like, hey, you want to see him play? And like I walked in his room, and like this dude's like sitting at the computer, like awful posture. I mean, he looked like he was like being supported by machines. He was like. I wanted to be like, is he retarded? But like, he's not. He's just tired, obviously. But he's like sitting there like this, and like there's empty Mountain Dew cans all over the fucking room, and like his fingers moving on the thing. Like, it looked like all his calories were being devoted to his hands. Like, he's just staring at the screen, and he's good. He's like no scoping people with the sniper rifle. I could tell he was very good, but like his hands like. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, is that a human? I'm like, what? No way. I was like, in order to get there, this is all he does. I was like, what about
That's
like human interaction and sunlight? And
yes,
like, he looked like if I touched his skin would break down. I was like, all right. I was like, all right.
He's so brittle.
I was like, so are we gonna go get something to eat? Like, are we still going? Like, I was like, I don't want to be around this guy anymore. I was like, what the fuck?
When you
like,
see it now, I mean, a lot of them
go outside.
It's almost like
It was not fun.
it's almost like a linebacker, 5-6 years,
Yeah.
and that's it, and then they retire. Like,
Dude,
that's as much as the human body.
Yeah.
Take that kind of abuse.
But also the games
that
turn
room
over.
smelled like a tomb.
And if you're not on the new game before it becomes the next game, that's it. You're playing catch up, man.
Yeah,
It's too
and
much.
you watch like these like kids that get e-sponsored, like they get like a full ride to college because of like they're really good at a game. Like I remember when Monster Energy was sponsoring like this one team for the United States, and it was League of Legends.
Yes.
And they were at Arizona State University, who was getting all this publicity because they had the first like League of Legends team, and these kids got like $100,000 full ride like to college.
Yeah.
And they would get together and like with their Monster Energy contract, they had to play 8 hours of League of Legends a day.
Oh.
Yep.
For 6 days. That was part of the contract. If
Right.
you wanted the full ride, if you wanted to be on the team, you needed to do this. And they got 1 day off to do whatever the hell they want. Like
Right.
with that day, you can do whatever you want.
Touch grass.
And they asked the guys what they do. And like the kid he was a Korean American kid. He kind of just turned and looked at the camera. He's like, I just play more League of Legends. And I was like, oh my God. Like, fuck that.
That's
like,
what it,
no.
that's what it takes.
I know,
League-
but
Le-
Jesus Christ.
especially
like,
for
no.
League, because League is so fucking competitive. But that's standard, where you got to be staying on top, because the ranking keeps moving.
Yeah.
And if you're not playing, you're falling behind. You have to play 10, 12 hours a day.
Yeah. The kid had a girlfriend, and guess what? She was on the team. So, they at least saw each other.
Well, it's like that for StarCraft. StarCraft was huge. I
Yes.
believe is it
Korea?
In Japan?
Korea.
Korea. StarCraft. Warcraft.
Same
that was
thing.
another game that
Yeah.
sucked people's
The
souls.
Koreans are very, very good at any like MOBA
Yep.
or like RTS strategy game. I don't know what it is, but like if you look at any type of big strategy game like that, like where you have to like manage battles and stuff.
Well, you have all the macros
Koreans are
and everything
consistent.
as well.
Yeah,
'Cause
Koreans are
that's-
consistently top
That
10.
is such a big thing about your ability to have to not click into the queue to see what you're building. So knowing where the key on the keyboard is. So you don't got to go back to your base. Press the button that opens your barracks. You press the other button that queues up your guy, and then you're still staying watching the fight versus everyone else is clicking back onto where their town is at and looking for their barracks and where it's like for them it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter where it's at. I press the button, it opens it up in the corner, and I'm still watching the fight.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Japan's
me.
good. Japan's good at fighting games and stuff like that. But you consistently, if you want to see the guys that are really good at like the tactical, massive battle games, it's Korea.
I think like so. I don't know much about K-pop. I have friends who do. I
Gangnam
think
Style.
I don't think that's K-pop. I don't think that's K-pop.
Maybe I don't.
It's K-pop,
don't
not
quote
gay
me.
pop. Nelson.
I said that. I said that.
Anyway, I just
Korean.
Yeah, it was Korean. Yeah.
Anyway, for I just know like when it comes to like groups, they're like training those kids from young. It's like this is what your life is gonna be.
Yes.
So basically, I think those gamer kids from Korea, that's what they are just like.
Could be
This
the
is what
same
you're
thing.
going
They're
to do,
Spartans.
and that's
Yeah.
all you're gonna do.
It's part of the culture of like you're picking your thing, and this is all you're doing.
It's
Yeah.
the same thing in Taiwan for kickboxing, right? Those kids
Thailand.
are Thailand.
Yeah, they start at single digits.
They're starting at 7, 8, 9 years old, training
To feed their family,
kickbox.
yeah.
for school and education, food, and
Yeah.
taking care of their family.
Well, it's kind of like what Jessica said. It's like in Korea, there's a bigger reception. Like if you go to like if you go to a StarCraft tournament in the United States, like it'll have some people there. It'll have a crowd.
Yes.
But like if you go to like a StarCraft championship in Korea,
It's in a stadium.
packed.
it's 100,000 people.
Yeah.
Stadium.
They have
It's a
they have
stadium.
signs with like they have organized chants.
Yes.
You can't hear anything when like their favorite team comes out.
It's fucking wild.
It's like a concert. It's like a Taylor Swift concert. It's fucking wild. It's unbelievable. So I think that might be a part of the thing. They just take it so
It's a
seriously.
part of their culture
Yeah.
as well.
You
is
go to
what
a
it
track.
is.
You go to a track meet in South Florida. You'll see family and friends.
Yeah.
You go to a track meet in Jamaica. They're watching it on TV.
Yeah.
Right.
The local bar is showing the college track meets.
Right.
That's why they produce consistently some of the best sprinters and runners. on the
I mean,
planet.
like, if you're wrestling gators in Idaho, nobody's watching. If you're wrestling gators in Florida, like...
it's our pastime. It's actually how we elect our governor.
And on that note, thank you for joining us at the Sofa Kingdom podcast. Where we wrestle gators.
We wrestle gators.
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 I need to move.
Yeah.
We did have iguana falling season recently.
We
did. It got a little
yes,
chilly.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
I didn't catch any, but
Do you eat them? Can you eat them?
You can.
I would try it.
It's I think a type of curry you can make.
Really?
Really?
So that's why I don't eat spicy food.
Can you get your hand? Can you get your hand on any iguana curry?
Where can you get it?
I
Yeah.
don't know. I just seen people make, but I don't know specifics.
I believe it.
Don't be holding out on us, Jessica.
Yeah.
If you have iguana.
It's Jackie.
trying
It's
to-
Jackie.
Jackie.
Oh my god.
Jackie.
What?
thought
It's
you sl-
Jackie.
Jackie.
Jackie or Jessica?
Bro,
I'm
I'm done
Jackie.
with you.
All right, next time on the mat, man.
Oh Jesus Christ! I just started a
Calling
rivalry.
you out.
Now there's the title for the episode. Jackie or Jessica.
Oh, that's so good.
That's why we don't do 2 podcasts back to back.
Yeah.
Jason, Jackie, and Jessica.
I was like,
Our brain cells last only so long. But we did it. And with good energy.
I think.